Hi, I'm David Schneider, your trusted estate planning attorney. Thanks for tuning in to our Trusted Advisor series. Please remember, if you like this content you're about to hear, hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notices when fresh content is uploaded. Today, we're speaking with Jon Courtney of Village Wealth Advisors. And Jon, I have to ask this, and I sure hope you don't think this is too simple of a question, but what the heck is the Dow? I mean, I'm listening to this my whole life. I hear the Dow is up 10, it's down 20. Yesterday was down 400. What does this mean to me?
Yeah.
Why is this important?
Yeah. Well, so the Dow is in popular culture because it goes back so far. Okay. You know, the origin of the stock market, right, is Wall Street. These people who owned portions of companies would get out in the middle of Wall Street and they would trade stocks back and forth, okay? And people needed to begin to understand a way of tracking how, in general, most stocks were moving. And so they picked the 12 largest industrial countries in the U.S., which the industrial countries were driving the U.S. economy in the early 1900s. So they came up with this Dow, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which included the 12 largest industrial companies. And they would just say, okay, in general, how did those 12 companies move? All right, that's probably how most companies moved overall. Of course, now we're in a new economy, right? Where now technology is driving most of the U.S. economy. And so the Dow has lost a lot of relevance. Instead, people usually follow now the S&P 500, which includes the 500 largest stocks here in the U.S. It includes technology, it includes industrials, it includes marketing, right, and real estate companies.
Bit broader,
much more representative of the U.S. economy today.
So then there's other indices, of course, NASDAQ.
There's the Russell indices, right? They're all just a way of grouping stocks together to understand how, in general, the stock market is moving. Of course, in any given day, it doesn't represent every stock because there's stocks that are up and stocks that are down. But in general, it helps to understand the overall movement of the stock market and the U.S. economy to some extent.
So the Dow drops 400 yesterday. I didn't lose 400% on my investments.
No, not at all.
Right.
Not at all. Yeah.
And so does this lead to a false sense of prosperity or a false sense of diminishing value?
Well, it's really interesting because for a lot of my clients who watch the financial news on a daily basis, they get this sense that there's some cause and effect between stock market movement and the news of the day, when really it's actually most often flipped. You've got these newscasters who need to fill time, right? And in any given day, there's lots of good news and there's lots of bad news. Well, if the stock market's up, they report the good news and say, oh, it must be because of this good news that the stock market is up. And then if the stock market's down, they go, oh, it must be because of this bad news that the stock market's down. When in reality, on a day-to-day basis, there's very little actual cause and effect. Most of the time, the daily movement of stocks is pretty random.
And this is why we need a balanced voice and a calm voice with our financial planner, right?
Yeah.
To avoid that herd mentality and that panic.
Yeah, I wish, popular news would simply report the 6-month rolling average of stocks. It would be much more representative of what's actually going on. But that doesn't make for very good entertainment, does it?
Not for good entertainment, but it certainly makes a ton of sense.
It makes for good advice, let me tell you.
Wow, geez, that's important to know. Thanks, Jon.
Pleasure.
We've been talking with Jon Courtney of Village Wealth Advisors. Jon, let everybody know how they can find you to obtain this kind of important information.
Great. If you'd like to talk about your investments, please reach out to villagewealthadvisors.com.
I'm David Schneider, your trusted estate planning attorney. Thanks for tuning in. Tune back in, see new fresh content posted regularly.